Is your anxiety feeling like it's worse than ever? Is your anxiety feeling like it's out of control? If so, maybe this short little video will help you. I'm Dr. Leif Smith, and I have 3 tips today that you can implement immediately that are going to help you stop making your own anxiety worse. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1, stop taking things so personally. What I'm seeing and what I see with a lot of people with anxiety is you get into this mindset where all the feedback that you're getting from the world, from the people around you, from the environment, from the people you interact with, from your coworkers, from your family, starts getting filtered through a filter of everything is about me. Here's the thing that's going to make you feel a lot better. Seldom is it about you. It's usually 95% of the time about the other person. Therefore, stop taking all the advice, all the opinions that are thrown at you, all the feedback, all the comments that you come across on a daily basis so personally. What it means is life is about them. Everybody is walking around doing their own thing, having their own thoughts, having their own movie that they're enacting in their life. And they are the central actor in their own movie. You are the central actor in your own movie. Their movie is about them, and your movie is about you. Stop thinking that their movie is about you. Tip number 2 on how to not make your own anxiety worse: stop demanding of the world. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is, whether we realize it or not, a lot of us walk around with expectations on how life is going to go. We think that this should happen and this should happen. If I work hard, I should be rewarded. If I keep working hard, I should be rewarded financially. If I'm a nice guy, I'll get the girl. Ever had any of those thoughts? Of course you have. So we make these demands of the world in our head and we walk around. And then when our demands aren't met, when fairness doesn't happen, when you don't get the girl, you don't get the guy, you don't get the job, you make yourself miserable. Why? Because it's not going according to your master plan. Here's the thing. Stop coming up and stop concocting these master plans, these demands in your own head on how your life should be going. Why? Because when does life go according to plan? Seldom, if ever. But when you walk around and you demand that it should go to plan, and if it's not going to go to plan, you're going to have a little mental tantrum about it, and you're going to make yourself miserable. That's a problem. My 3rd tip to help you stop making your anxiety worse is to stop catastrophizing. You might have heard this term before. Catastrophizing basically means making mountains out of molehills. Making things worse than they actually are. We do that a lot. It's a lot like my 1st tip, which is stop personalizing. On this tip, what I'm saying is stop making the scale of the problem worse than it actually is. Yes, you might have a setback. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Yes, that person broke your heart. That doesn't mean you're not going to meet someone else down the road. Yes, this is frustrating. That doesn't mean you're not going to get over it. Stop making mountains out of molehills, because a lot of people walk around making mountains out of everything. That is exhausting. When you have to keep climbing mountains, you are going to get exhausted. Save that for the mountaineers, okay? Let's walk around. Let's keep the molehills, and let's deal with problems as they come instead of making them worse in our own mind, in our own life. So now that you know, these are the 3 ways you make your anxiety worse. You personalize, you demand, and you catastrophize. All 3 of those. Hopefully you're not doing all 3, but maybe you are. Hopefully you're only doing 1 out of those 3. If you find yourself doing any of these, Let's work to stop them. Maybe you catastrophize more than anything, or maybe you personalize everything, and that one really hits home. My recommendation to you is to choose one of these that you're doing often, that you're doing on a daily basis, and bring your attention to the times that it happens. Someone makes a comment, and all of a sudden you find yourself getting worked up, getting angry because you took it personally. Someone makes a random comment about world politics or about the war in Russia and the Ukraine, and you find yourself getting upset about it as if it was towards you. That's the moment where you are personalizing. And when you can realize that you're doing this on a daily basis, then you can stop and you can tell yourself, it's not always about me. In fact, it's seldom about me. That person's comments are about them. So that's one example. Choose which one of these you are doing the most and start bringing your awareness to the times that it happens on a daily basis so that you can start changing it and not making your anxiety that much worse. I'm Dr. Leif Smith. Thank you for joining me today. It's quite a privilege, and I will see you in my next video.